Now what you trying to be? Crying to every guy you see. Game ain't usually work on them lanes, but you can't lie to me. Living in irony, truth but not entirely. Beauty skin deep and you only deep as the eye can see. Doing with manual, stack my chips on the annual, but you average your best and that's word to Kevin Samuels. Now what's your predicate? Strong but still delicate. Offering package deal, but with me, what's the relevance? Can have anyone instead of you. Get some sense what you better do. Expecting me to change when I'm 30 steps up ahead of you. Lot of lies been fed to you. Hold up your scarlet letter too. And since you know better, I think it's time you do better, boo. It's acceptable in the moment with no opponent. Knowing you really want it is magical if you own it. You dying to get a cut, I'm dying to get a nut. So keep your good lies, cause I'm buying no matter what. Yeah, we in the building.
Wobbly, 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 wobbly.
Yeah, every time from here on out. Get these I hope these scallywags and fucking mad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just I don't know. I just think we're just gonna continue to honor the fucking truth. I don't give a damn about the politics of everything and whatever this YouTube space creates, but just honoring the fucking truth and what it appears that a lot of people have a problem with. And here we are, what has this been, about 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
I believe his funeral just passed recently. You still got people coming out saying different shit. And yeah, so let's address it. I don't know. Have you seen anything?
Yeah, I've seen many of things. But before we start that, let's go. You just enter the arena where we pull no punches. We hit you with straight truths and hard facts. Welcome to the Chin Check. So let's go. We seen the Vivica Fox and everybody at Fox Soul. Oh, my bad. I mean Fox Woman.
But it was mainly the whole thing with Vivica Fox though, and her comments. And shit, I can even bring it up, and then we can, I guess, touch on like a reaction to this shit.
Okay.
So, we had as many people heard Vivica was, I don't know, pretty fucking heartless, if you ask me, but yeah, we'll get to that.
This man was a hypocrite, in my honest opinion. He really was. I didn't find anything about him to be healing. He insulted African-American women on a consistent basis. One of his last statements that he said was that if you're over 38 and you haven't married or something like that, that you're no good and disposable. To me, it was a shock jock. And, I hope.
Come on, internet.
This is teaching folks a lesson about the karma that you put out, the negativity that you put out in the world, that when karma comes knocking at your door, she might not be so kind. So, the fact that he killed over real quick and was supposedly with a woman that we don't yet know the nationality, rest in peace.
Well, damn.
Right. So.
Yeah. Well, damn. Like that's foul. And she was happy. You see her face? She was perking up and.
But what were we talking about over the last few weeks? And I said, I was like, yo, man, a lot of motherfuckers, like they get a load of this. They're not gonna be too happy to either follow us, tune in, or whatever. But this is a fucked up thing here to what we see. Just a constant display of the fucking evil in our own women.
Yeah. Not all. It's just them bitches.
It ain't all, but the thing I always tell females is, you know, we all play a part in our social imprint. So supposedly the so-called good black women, they'll never call out another bitch for this shit.
Yeah.
Like this shit is pure fucking evil on fucking display.
Correct.
So it's just like, it's kind of hard. It's like what they say when cops kill a unarmed black person, they be like, oh well, where all the good cops at condemning this? It's the same thing with black women.
So true.
This shit is okay with them.
Mm-hmm.
And she's making it like, where that's another thing that gets me about black women, especially, is their misplaced idea of fucking karma. It's like they use this shit, they throw it around, they don't really understand the concept. So they think karma, you get karma because you're not flattered by something somebody says. When this motherfucker was running a show and having people calling him to ask him for his opinion.
Correct.
For his honest opinion and his views.
Correct.
So somehow karma came over him for him to die of a heart attack, which is not fucking uncommon, because what black people, the leading causes of death is what heart attack and shit related to high blood pressure and all that shit. Yeah, at what, he's 50, I think they said he was like 56 years old. So for her to act like, oh well, that's his karma, that shit is just, it's crazy. And it just shows how ridiculous and how wild that they are with their fucking mindset. As if they think karma only applies to these situations, like say when they're hurt or when they're offended or when they're cheated on. But they never, like, so what would be her karma for speaking like that, you know, over the death of somebody? You see what I'm saying? Like we can talk like about, they could be so righteous, so fucking self-righteous, and they could speak on what the next motherfucker did, and she could perk all up and do all that shit. But then we already know, like, that's just ill ass behavior. But she's not expecting any karma for that. They feel like it's something, karma is a concept that specifically serves them, and that shit annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's just not karma. It's them words, them key words. Karma. What's the other word? Dang, it's just certain keywords that they bring up all the time. So that's one of them. That is truly one of them. It's sad how he has a daughter out there.
Right.
What do you think his daughter think? Even though she speak negative of him right now, what do you think
his daughter speaks?
Thinks? Yeah.
Hold on. So what does daughter say? Because that's news to me.
Oh, you ain't know? His daughter. Oh damn, we should have talked about this. But his daughter was saying that he wasn't hardly there.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? We already knew that to a point, that he wasn't a great father at first. He was a shitty father. Because he was,
you know, there's a lot of
shitty
men
man, period.
Yeah, and there's a lot of men in society that have to kind of own shit like that for different various reasons. I mean, I don't know the whole situation, so I don't speak on that shit, because you know how I feel about the whole system, baby mom, baby dad thing. Like I need details, because even sometimes getting it from the kid's perspective, you're just getting it from maybe like a point of view of hurt without understanding even of the full situation. A lot of the time kids don't even understand the whole, and that's not defending Kevin Samuels if he was a deadbeat or whatever the fuck. But I'm just saying, like, when they come to those situations, the last two motherfuckers that I just take their word for it and run from it is the bitch involved and the kids, because you just see it too often and stuff where, you know, women are allowed to control and manipulate the situation, and then it turned into something else. So yeah, we might have to look into that, to really truly speak on it. But yeah, I ain't heard nothing about it. I need case details.
Yeah,
That was the difference when we spoke on like other shit, like with Kwame or and all that type shit. It's just like they had more of their info out. But I just
we should dig more into it. I'm down with
yeah.
that. And Miss Beverly, his mom, like the fact that that's another woman. So you disrespecting another woman's seed. You're happy that another woman's child is
Right.
died.
She found out about it on Twitter or something. They said
Correct. She found it on the internet. Yep.
And then
I'm
it's
just saying.
Go ahead.
Just my bad. Just imagine she's a fan of Fox Soul, and she's watching that, and she sees Vivica snarkling, happy,
Right.
perky. You know what I'm saying? And
Right, and it's just like, I don't know. Like they really act like Kevin Samuels was, I don't know,
the devil.
Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. There was, if you watch the rest of that little clip, because I actually seen an extended clip of it, when they got to Selena Johnson, I think was her name, and even she broke down a little, how he actually started off and he actually talked about men. So she brought that out and stuff, but she downplayed it like, oh, well, he wasn't popping when he was doing that. And I think what people don't understand, like, okay, she said it like he wasn't popping when he was doing that. So then he hurried up and he jumped on the females, and then that's when he started popping. But what people don't understand is that the only thing that made it pop was the fact that females took such an opposition to it.
Correct.
Despite it being true, or maybe true in parts, whether you agree. Like when he was on men don't disagree. A lot of us, whether we say it outwardly or even if it's just subconsciously, like we know what we're fucking up at.
Yeah.
We know what we can improve as men. We know what we need to do. Actual men know how they supposed to fucking walk and carry themselves, how they supposed to do shit. So when another man that we can look at, if we find them respectful enough to take the time to listen to, we're taking that in. We're not taking it to the fucking heart, so fucking hard and being offended.
Yeah.
And with women, man, with women, you can't say anything remotely constructive, criticizing, or anything, and it's a problem. And black women have created this space to where you can't say shit to them at all, or it's something wrong with you.
It's a woman can't say nothing bad about other women, or their pick-me's, or their
right. They start trying to discredit the woman. They'd be like, okay, well, as a man, we're saying this, and this is how we feel. Then you get a woman that'd be like, yo, sisters, we kind of tripping here. We fucking up. We need to do better in these departments. And females that get on her and start trying to discredit her.
Correct.
Like it seems really intentional. This is the thing. Like they have to know at this point that they're doing this shit. And really, I think it was you that was telling me, like, yo, like they know they're doing this shit.
Yeah, they do.
It's deliberate. That shit is pure fucking evil. And it's crazy that, I don't know, I've seen sites where they're like, oh, well, Vivica received backlash and all that, but I haven't really seen any backlash. That's culture.
Yeah.
It just takes...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying, I was just going to say, it's just like battling the boys in blue, the blue game. Same
right.
thing.
It's culture. It's such a natural, not even natural, but it's such a instilled hatred for black men that this shit is okay. And what I was saying, was like, okay, at what point, and this is with anything, because nowadays people get so offended, at what point do we stop and say, yeah, but was he lying? Is there truth to what he's saying? We're so quickly offended that we miss out on context, and a lot of time, like in a lot of spaces where we can learn from something, we're so offended because we don't want to self-reflect. And I'm just speaking to people in general, and that's what I see a lot with Kevin Samuels. I'd ask somebody like Vivica Fox, what this motherfucker say wrong? The
He
thing
said
is,
something about her.
but
So that's
yeah,
why
and
she
that's the
feel like
thing
that.
though, because she's an example.
Yeah.
She's the exact type that he's speaking about.
Yeah.
You look at Vivica Fox, you seen her fucking pasty ass face up there like she ain't marriage material or none of that shit no more. 50 Cent got as far as fuck away from her as possible. This is the type of bitch that'll ruin your shit. I would hope that she never is able to fool another black man and shit in the fucking, probably even let alone putting dick in her again. Like niggas got to start cutting these type of chicks off.
Somebody doing something now.
What?
Somebody's taking something in this shit. I don't like all that surgery, but somebody doing something with her.
That shit's fucking wild.
It's sad.
But that shit's
she act
okay
like
though.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit's okay. And then it's just like you'll never see females call each other out. I was just waiting for one of them chicks to be like, hey, let's not do that. Whether it be Lisa Ray, Selena Johnson, I can't remember the other lady on the panel, but
shit, I forgot her name.
Yeah, but they never call each other out on this shit. And I always say, like, it's a problem when we do it, but if we don't do it, it would be like it'd be a total just disregard. Like they would completely be in a space just untouched.
Yeah. That's true.
That shit is wild. And I was just thinking, like, man, one of these ladies on this panel, they're just gonna have enough respect about themselves and how they come up to say something to her, like, yo, that ain't cool. Like, you got to be easy. All the head bopping and all that shit. Like, it's like, come on, man. But nope, they all just sat there. It was just it was Lisa Ray. Selena Johnson tried to be cool. Lisa Ray was the main one. She was sitting there looking evil as shit. Like they
Lisa
just don't
Ray.
give a fuck.
My bad. Selena Johnson and Lisa Ray, they usually always on guys' sides. Even though sometimes, like you said, they dumb it down, so it's not that important, but they're usually on guys' sides.
Man,
Portia, when it comes to Portia and Vivica Fox, yeah, they're the one I ain't see that there. Man haters.
Man, they done made it. They done made it okay to just vilify a motherfucker. Like it's weird. That shit is just weird. That's just the space that we're in, and then people even continuing to do this shit. Even your boy Derek Jackson. Jackson think he gonna make a comeback at the expense of Kevin Samuels. Like that opens up a lane for his ass. And that's the thing. Yo, females will listen to Derek Jackson. Completely full of shit. Like when all that shit came out about dude, like it pretty much voided like all them years of fuck nigga ass videos that he was putting out and shit, making it look like he was just this hell of a nigga. Some hell of a guy and shit that motherfuckers like, man. And now this motherfucker pop up out the woodwork and shit trying to talk shit like he gonna be, and females are gonna let him.
Yeah, they love it.
Man, that's how comfortable they are. What do we say? With the fucking good lies. They're addicted to the fucking good lies because they will let this nigga slide right back in. They'll forgive him for that whole fiasco, bringing his girl on YouTube. Or no, that was his wife, right? Yeah, they'll forgive all that shit. That whole fiasco, him bringing her on YouTube, embarrassing the fuck out of her, not even giving her a chance to get herself together before she get on. Like, man, that shit crazy. Shit, y'all could tell, hey, we ain't forget, nigga. Shit, Derek Jackson, your time to fuck up. Don't try to sneak back in now.
That
And you
nigga
bitches
trash.
better not let him. Fucking crazy.
What you talking about? When that happened, he still had a whole bunch of views. Like it was women still out there following him, listening to his content, respecting everything that he said.
But that
But it's
compounds
always
on
like that. Like Charleston
right.
White said, look, R. Kelly, they were still loving R. Kelly when he was pissing on females and raping females. Like they love them bad boy type of dudes. So a upfront square L7 guy, Kevin Samuels, nerd dude, telling you how it is, keeping it 100%, not kissing your ass. He's the devil to them. But a man that abuses you physically and verbally, like they love that, and that's sad. That our women like that shit.
Yeah, because it comes back to the truth. It all comes back to the fucking truth.
That's
So that
sad.
there's a difference. See, R. Kelly, he just making you sing and dance, and he's doing that whole thing. You know, you got Derek Jackson, this motherfucker right here. I used to watch his video, like, yo, you females really buying this shit. That's why it was funny when it fucking came out that this nigga was full of shit. But yeah, he was the same thing. It's just all he's feeding them. It's just like, oh man, it don't matter if you ain't shit bitch. You can have the man that you want, and you can do this, and don't let a man tell you nothing. Like, it was just such bullshit. And they will take that all day, even from a motherfucker who's been proven that he ain't even shit. He ain't even the motherfucker that he's presenting as far as the simp that females really want.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't say shit as long as you keep these motherfuckers dancing. And that's the thing. It's black women especially, but with black people. As long as you keep these motherfuckers dancing and saying what the fuck they want to hear, man, you
They
good.
gonna love them. Yeah, you good.
The minute you start telling niggas the truth in any capacity, you a fucking problem and you gotta go. That's why I said, what up? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we're not talking about the conspiracy theory type of dudes. We're not talking about the passive type of dudes. We're talking about somebody that's telling the exact truth.
Right. No, they don't want to hear that shit because, man, I can't even call how long it's been, but I think, like I've always said, black people have gotten so complacent. And so, I don't know, we as a people, we too fucking comfortable now. And meanwhile, really, when you look at the big picture, the overall scope of things, a lot hasn't really changed. You know what I'm saying? We still having Jim Crow like incidences.
Yeah.
And it's even compounded now because for the most part, our own women are against us.
So true.
And as men can't even step up, take position, walk as a man, and then be able to come back and tell women like, hey, we need to fix this. This is things that you need to do. We need y'all in this capacity.
Mm-hmm.
They've been so convinced that, they've been so convinced on one end, and I think this is another black issue at large. For some reason, at the age of 18, black people tend to think that we got an extra 10 years to fuck around for some reason. So a lot of black people don't even start getting it to fuck together till 28, 29, 30, 30s. By then, we're already behind a decade compared to like other groups and other races.
Yeah, because we haven't learned yet. We just got free.
Right. And it's just like something with that. Like we have to, that's one dynamic we got to figure out. But man, I don't know. We're just so fucking behind in every aspect. And then even when it comes to women, you just, the other thing is you can't talk. You can't tell them nothing. I remember I was saying, if we did have MLK today, Malcolm X and those guys, and you know what's crazy like about that is I seen a video on here earlier, and I think it was what's her name, B Simone, the comedian. And what I say last week, I said if MLK was here today, I said he wouldn't make it because they would have counseled him. The first word of rumors of infidelity, MLK would have been canceled. So we would have never had that opportunity.
So true.
She sat right on her thing and pretty much carried it how I said modern people today would. She dismissed everything this motherfucker tried to do because he cheated on his wife. They was like, yeah, okay, he did civil rights, but so what? You no good. You're not even good to your wife. And then somehow she flipped it and started making it about her or some shit. But I just thought that was crazy. I just thought like, damn. So it's like, fuck the advances that he was trying to make for social. Like it's because of MLKs and Malcolm X and all that she can even sit her ass there comfortably on a white platform and spew that shit.
As a woman, not as a black woman, as a woman.
Right.
Let's get that right.
It's because of MLK and guys like that she could find herself. Oh my God. And and for her to try to dismiss everything just because of infidelity to his wife, I just think it's crazy. And it's just funny that women, they can't see the whole, like the bigger picture. They don't see our overall importance to how everything works and how society moves and everything. Like they don't fucking get it. But I told y'all, I said, and then that was just fucking funny that a current popular female YouTube face comedian fucking came out not even a week later and shit and was talking shit on MLK.
I just wonder, how are you so mad and you're dispelling everything that he's done and his wife is not mad? The woman that he cheated on.
Man, these modern broads is different too.
No, just unpack that for me. Like the woman that he cheated on, that he abused, she didn't leave him. Right. She stayed there.
You know, and you know what the thing is a lot of the time people don't understand. Like our grandparents and all that shit, like they knew what was up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying this for them, but I'm saying maybe in more of a general sense, like they knew what was up. Especially if you had a motherfucker or a dude of affluence and influence and celebrity. They knew what was up back then.
Yeah, it used to be like, don't bring the problem home. Don't bring whatever you got out there. Don't bring it in here.
Let me tell you, I was talking to my boy, and he broke down the thing. He said black women are more naturally for polygamous type relationships. And he said, guess the main group that isn't.
White people. Everybody.
Right. He said, shit, he said, white women do not play that shit.
Correct.
And so you fast forward to like now with females' mentality now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And shit, they can get mad if they want. Whoever the fuck watches this back, whatever, they can get mad if they want. But you see, black women model them fucking selves after white women. They're wearing their hair. They're they're adapting every bit of their culture. They're dabbling in the homosexuality like way more than I remember when I was a fucking kid.
Yeah.
They shaving they coochie like the girls in the porn videos and shit. They doing everything like fucking white girls. And it's like it makes fucking sense because a lot of our grandparents and all that shit back then, like they understood their fucking roles. But now
So true.
modern day it's been flipped, and pretty much anything like a man was doing back then and even to now, they even be trying to like go back in time and I guess shame and cancel niggas and shit. But all that shit is looked at as fucking abuse.
Yeah.
They look at it like these women were abused and they weren't able to live out their lives and do what they wanted to do. And that's the whole thing, the whole narrative on it flipped. So that's where you kind of get that why she probably thinks like that.
Yeah, it used to be like that. Even like back in the day, you had your wife, you had your mistress, you had somebody that you was fucking on when your wife wasn't acting right, or when you felt like you wanted to go into town. Like people,
I saw
but
another.
that's our fault because we don't
Nah,
respect our history.
but yeah, exactly, and that's what I was gonna say. Another clip that I seen over the last week. The video was actually I think a African lady that was actually explaining the difference between men and women and why men cheat. And paraphrasing, kind of in a nutshell, she said the difference between men and women is that women's cycle for reproduction is every 30 days. A man's
Mhm.
cycle is every day.
Mm.
So and with all the thousands, millions of fucking sperm cells, she said some crazy shit. Like she said 30 men could impregnate the whole world of women in
Wow.
like a day, basically. So she said that's the difference. And so she said, monogamy has never been a natural state for men
Correct.
in any type of creature. So it's like that's what women are competing with. And then you're telling a man, like, hey, you gotta buckle down and shit. You gotta tie up all these motherfucking nuts and all that shit and be faithful just to you. But it's like really a woman ain't designed to deal with a man who's constantly running his cycle and shit like that. Like one woman really ain't designed for that shit. And that's not how nature works. So yeah, I think there's something to that shit because I think it's weird that or not even weird, but with men, it's so different, so we could fuck another female and shit and forget about that shit and come home cool. The guilt comes in and shit when the bitch is like, oh my God, you do this to me and all that shit.
I can say from my dad, from your dad, knowing stories,
Right.
from my grandfather, and from my great great grandfather, listening to these stories from these men. Every man had their main chick and a couple of chick or a chick that they mess with. It's always been like that until now. Now everything is, oh, it's cheating. It's so wrong.
Yeah.
It's this and that. No, 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 no. We're fucking with what history, what built us, what made us strong, what made our family strong.
Right. And that even goes back to some shit I kind of picked up more on because when you go back, me and my boy was talking about like the five tribes and
Mm-hmm.
breaking that shit down.
I
And
don't know
so,
that, but keep going.
well, no, the five tribes pretty much breaks down.
Talking about Israelites.
No, here in America, the five
Oh,
tribes here. How
oh.
you had and it's all southeastern. That's where all that shit started. I'm just kind of like going through it real quick, but you had your Seminoles,
Mm-hmm. Blackfoot.
Cherokee. Yeah, so And pretty much what happened is those were colored people that were here
Correct.
already.
Correct. Correct.
White people came, forced all the natives out,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much they all kind of adopted a lot of European or Eurocentric ideas and ideals, and that came with the religion and everything, and different cultures like that.
Mm. That was already our culture. Not to
No, I'm not saying no. I'm talking about as far as like when you start talking about Christianity,
that was our culture.
monogamy.
Our
That's
culture.
a yeah.
It's
I'm
just
saying
it's
like
just their
men.
view, upon it. No, I'm not trying to
Yeah,
this, but that was their view upon it. We already had Christians back then, in Africa. It was a little bit different. They took it from there to the Masons to Europe, and then Europe they made their version of the Bible. Da 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 to us. So I just want to.
yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, I'm just saying like a lot of it just comes because we constantly, I think, more so adapted to a lot of white people rule and culture.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah,
so it's just go
they
ahead.
destroyed us. My bad. They just destroyed us, and that's why the women are like they is. Like the video Kevin Samuel showed, months before he died, how the government came in and made it where black women, it was cool to benefit from the government and to be a single woman. Like that was cool. Like they put
Right.
it in their mind that that's the thing to be. That's
No, exactly. I was just talking to a lady on Facebook
mhm.
just about that same thing, and then she asked, "Oh no, the post was about pretty much said that women don't shouldn't worry about if they want to go to school, get their education, live their life, and do all that, and then have kids in their 30s, right?" Right. And so, and then the post used Rihanna at 34, just having her kid with ASAP. Congratulations to them. Um,
Correct.
Nicki Minaj having her first child at 37,
Mhm.
and Beyonce, I think, having her first kid at like 30. And so she asked, because I posted and I had a caption, and she asked, "Well, what's wrong with women waiting though?" And I'm like, "Yo, y'all don't really understand how this shit works." It's like y'all go through, and remember what I was saying earlier about black people thinking that they have from fucking 18 to like 28, 29, 30 to get it together. I was like, black women more so now go over a decade not learning how to cooperate or be for a man. They, in a sense, end up fucking ran through. And by the time they hit their 30s, the biological clock starts ticking.
Mm.
They say 35 is like pretty much what geriatric pregnancy, high risk, but it
Correct.
starts before that. The risk of
Around
pregnancy
32.
start, 32, 33, 34.
Mhm.
And they
That's
don't get
true.
that. They don't get how they spend so much of their lives trying to spite us and then expecting us to come back around when they've already diminished. They're not even at their peak. They really think that they're at their peak with some damn degree. And I think it's a crazy. I looked it up, and I think it's like a crazy stat, or I don't know what the fuck I heard this shit, but I think you can just see it in society. Most of these women have degrees, and then they don't even have a job, and what the fuck they went to school for.
Yeah.
But they'll throw that degree in your face as if like, okay, now you got to respect them because shit. What did he was they used to say it best like, well, I'm a PhD. That shit don't even have a job in the shit that they went to school for half the time. If it ain't
Correct.
medical assistant or some shit like that.
Okay. This what guys and this what my friends are probably gonna hate me. Not to a point, but just listen. Okay. The reason why the women are acting like that is because the what women think men are, that's what they going for. And what I mean by that is that shitty ass nigga that five women been fucking with, that's been treating them wrong, has probably impregnated a couple of them. This one guy is impregnated this one of them, cheated on them, probably physically abused a couple of them. They think that's a man right there. They think that's what a man is. So they think like, okay, this nigga he a drug dealer, or he could just be a nigga that's working at Home Depot. That nigga is the man. And so I got to make more than him. So now I go to college. My heart's been broken. Niggas ain't shit. I tried in college, but niggas just only fucking with me. Now I got my PhD. I know I can make more than this Home Depot ass nigga. This is why they act the way they act, because what they think a man is that's basically who they trying to upgrade themselves past. That nigga right there. If you get what I'm saying. Like that shit ass nigga, that
But
fuck ass nigga. Go ahead.
it's mainly a lot of black women is the problem. Like
That's
black
what I'm
women are
saying.
black women are the least married out of any social group. So it's just like it's something weird, it's something that they're not getting, it's something that they're missing.
It's not no,
And
it's no, it's
just and it's destroying us as a people.
because it's what they tell each other.
Yeah, black women give each other the worst fucking advice. And that was my point in the post that I was talking about. I was like, man, y'all gotta stop fucking listening to each other. Y'all be telling each other some dumb fucking shit. Why don't you get on here and tell bitches to wait wildly into their fucking 30s to when that's when you guys are at fucking higher risk. They
Shit,
say
go ahead.
it's under 17, or they say 35 is geriatric, and it starts getting risky even around, like we said, like early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, man, that's another thing. And I was saying, I was like, yo, black women giving each other fucking advice. All their advice usually is so fucking bad because most of their advice is to spite men.
Correct.
It's not in their best interest.
Correct. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Tell me this is not like a double entendre. Okay. Women older women always telling younger women that they need to go to college, right? And they need to not worried about being married, not being under a dude, right?
Right.
Okay. And so who are raising the children? Is it the family, the single man, or the single mother?
What do you mean? In what situation?
Who's raising children, our black children, more? The family, the married people, like the black man and the black woman are two gay couple, whatever you want to put it, or a single man, or a single father, or a single mother. Who's raising our children the most?
Wow, man, that's a kind of a, I don't know, loaded question, because in a
Come
sense
on.
you could
Do we
say
have more? Do we have more married people raising
that's
kids?
what I was gonna say. It's like it's a weird dynamic because black people, we don't have family structure
No.
too
I'm just
often.
saying. What do you
And
see mostly?
um
Single black women. Come on, say it.
yeah, no, you see single black women, but I also see a lot of men that have these kids as well.
But who having more?
I guess you could say women because of the legal system. Yeah, I mean, can't even front.
Okay. So
Okay, what I could say is yes, the women have the main influence.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they're raising these kids, right? So
Right.
they're raising boys. So if they're raising boys and a father's usually not in their lives, they're raising that boy to be the man that they wish they had. So
Or
it's
to be,
no. So
or in
I'm
a
just
lot of
saying.
cases, to just be, I don't know, man.
No, I'm
Women,
saying because it's crazy. Think about it. They're trashing man, saying man ain't shit, but you're raising a child, a boy, to be a man.
right,
And if you saying all man ain't shit, but you're raising that shit ain't man.
right. Yeah, no, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah. So in short and shit, they pretty much, yeah, especially like now, they pretty much creating the ain't shit niggas that they pretty much talking about. So fucking
Correct.
bad. Yeah.
Sorry, I lead you down the wrong way, but I'm just
Oh
saying,
no, no, I got it. I get it. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
like that's that's the problem.
Nah, real shit.
And it's been like that for a while. Like
Yeah,
we ain't in the. Go ahead.
I don't think I don't think with black people it's like we can all talk and we can have these spaces, but I think we too far gone.
Mm.
I mean, shit. You definitely, I mean, you just like you can't say anything to black women. I've been telling people because we've been having a formula shortage.
Boom, boom,
But
boom.
this month, I believe,
Yeah.
that's the start of there. This month we've been having a formula shortage. And so me, I'm thinking because see, when I have my daughter and and dealing with that situation,
Hmm.
I had her right into the pandemic.
That's
She was
true.
born she was born right into a pandemic. And so during that, they were shutting everything down and
Hmm.
people were stocking up not only on toilet paper, but everything.
Yeah, I remember that discussion we had.
It
My baby was
looked
like,
like yeah, it looked like a zombie apocalypse almost when you go to a lot of these fucking stores.
correct
And
back
so
then.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like that, like I never panic. You figure it out. What I'm seeing with this formula shortage and compared to like with the pandemic and everything with that show is a lot of women modern day they wouldn't know what the fuck to do without us.
Mm.
They wouldn't know how to fucking survive.
Yeah.
They're panicking in that pandemic and they're panicking over this formula shortage. Like they can't even feed their fucking kids. And so my initial reaction to it was like, oh my God, you hoes are fucking stupid. And so that's how I came off. And so I started breaking it down. And I don't know, whoever decides to fucking watch this shit, it's really fucking simple. It's this shit ain't rocket science. I don't feel like I'm breaking the fucking internet or nothing. All formula is at its base is powdered cow milk. Powdered milk you can store longer. And it's whey protein.
Mm.
There's nothing so special about baby formula. It's the same shit. Your baby gonna be sitting there throwing up, whether you give them powdered milk or regular milk. Y'all panicking like you can't grab an extra fucking jug of vitamin D milk and some distilled water and keep it pushing. So it shows me that like a lot of these fucking moms out here, because like I'm like the type of dad, I'm tasting everything. I'm wondering why the hell my baby needs this, that, and why I'm buying that. I'm one of those type. So it shows like these motherfuckers really don't give a fuck. They don't even understand what the hell they doing, why they doing it for. They just doing shit. And that was the part that really fucking irritated me about the whole fucking formula thing and the first thing that they rushed to was like, oh, well, all women can't produce milk naturally and shit. Like I'm a fucking dude and I had a baby by myself during the fucking pandemic. She stood no chance of getting any titty milk for me. So if
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, yo, figure this shit out, it's not rocket science.
Correct.
And that's what I was saying. Like, you can't tell them nothing because you know what they say, even when you're telling them this shit, like, this shit is so fucking common sense. Can't get
Nah.
powdered milk, get regular milk. You want to get real fancy? Your baby only needs about 9 grams of protein a day. Divide that shit up, put it in there and shit. You on. But you know what these motherfucking females say when you sitting there talking to them? Disregard
What?
facts. They come up with these little fucking slogans and shit. No uterus, no opinion.
Yeah, that's how it usually is.
You can't say shit if you're a man and shit. Who are you to shame? And I'm like, wow. I'm telling you, if all men could just fucking hide somehow for a fucking month and came back to this fucking world or came back, man, these motherfuckers would be in shambles. Their arrogance combined with their fucking ignorance is astounding. Because to me, one, like, what happened? What happened to what we got? Our grandparents, like, they didn't have these issues. Shout out to Jeff Short. Our grandparents, they didn't have these issues. My first question on this was like, okay, what were people doing before formula?
Cow's
Formula,
milk,
right? Formula wasn't
powdered
even
milk,
invented. Yeah, formula wasn't invented till
70s.
about 1867. Like, it started getting in production. It hit the stores in the U.S. officially 1870.
Yeah.
People been fucking carrying on, populating the earth and all that.
Correct.
For how long before formula?
For forever.
And that's what thing, like, modern day innovations for convenience has really just stifled people. And you see moms, and it's mostly what I see is moms, more like, oh my God, how I'm gonna feed the kid. And they really don't understand this basic milk thing. It's not as complicated as they're making it out to be.
And we're not talking about the women that can't breastfeed. Let's point that out first.
But
Let's bring out Mr. Obvious.
But that's the thing. It applies to all women, whether you could breastfeed naturally, if you can't, if you're adopting a baby somehow. I didn't know that you can even get a baby that young till fucking recently. I guess you can in some instances, but yeah, or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter your situation. It is what it is, and you have to feed the child regardless. And we've gotten to a point in society with, like, these companies, these milk companies, understand, like, if it's such a convenience to be able to have formula. You know, you do your 2 to 4 scoops, whatever big of the bottle you're doing and shit, you shake it up, pop it in the mouth and shit, and you good to go. That is such a luxury. That's such a convenience. We became so dependent on that we forgot basic nutrition to care for our own children. And fast forward, you have, like, you know, supposedly, like, media, medical professionals, whatever, hitting the media, telling parents that they don't recommend for you to come up with your own formula to feed your kid because you can't get the Enfamils and the Similacs and all that shit.
Correct.
And people don't understand, these are companies. The doctors, the hospitals, the formula companies, they're all in bed together. That's why when you buy a pack of Pampers and it say on the pamper, hospital recommend, #1 hospital recommended by doc, like, all these motherfuckers are buddies.
Preach.
If you motherfuckers understood that you could take a gallon of distilled milk, a little can of Carnation, mix that shit all together. Like I said, if you want to get fancy and shit, divide up 9 grams of protein for the day for the bottle, bam, hit it. You looking at about maybe what, $3 to $5 of that for that? That's like a fraction of what a can of formula costs. So we're talking billions of dollars.
So I understand a lot of the time with our healthcare professionals, our politicians and shit, everything comes back to money. It ain't about logic, reality, or nothing. It's coming back to money. If you motherfuckers was really willing to shake up some carnation and shit, you would cost formula companies fucking billions. And that's why they'll have doctors hop up on the news and tell you you shouldn't feed your child. You should wait and go buy this processed powdered milk.
Here I go, messing up everything. But if they did that, right? And say they went to the doctor for the physical. The doctor
Right.
asked, "Hey, what are you using? Are you breastfeeding? Are you doing formula?" He says, "Well, I'm doing an organic blend of my own formula." Right then, they're gonna call Child Protective Service, and they're gonna take away her child,
I
or they'll
doubt
try
it
to take away her child.
because
Bro,
it's not illegal.
I'm telling
It's
you, they're gonna.
it's not illegal because the only way that would be illegal, the only way that would be illegal is if there was problems with the child to where your child wasn't checking out and your child
Correct.
looked neglected, or if your child looked malnourished, or if your child had rotten teeth and all that shit. If you come in and you produce a perfectly healthy child, then
Mhm.
they're not gonna trip because you're using alternative methods, because really that all that shit is bad for your kid. It doesn't matter. It's just powdered milk. Humans are allergic to lactose. So it doesn't matter if you get it in the jug out the fridge section or if you get a can of it with a baby on the can. Your kid's still gonna be sitting there throwing up and doing all that shit anyways.
So
A lot of these motherfuckers kids will get taken if they sit around waiting on this fucking formula and they don't use some sense and feed their fucking kid and then fuck around and have a doctor appointment and bring their kid in grossly underweight because they wasn't fucking sensible enough to go get a jug of milk and shake that shit up and dilute it and warm it up.
okay, so you saying that, right? So if I blended up some almonds, some some spinach, put it in the blender, that's good enough for a child because you said they need protein. Spinach has protein in it. Or
Yeah, why
kale.
not?
That'll be perfect for the child.
I don't know what these motherfuckers is on because I don't see anything that would be wrong with that. My daughter was eating fucking chicken wings like a West African at 3 months. So you mean to tell me she can't suck down blended like? And then on the real, I had a baby blender to make
Hmm.
my own like formulas and baby foods for my infant. It was like a weird little, I can't remember what the brand was, but it was exactly for, yeah, it was for that. It was to make blends for infants.
Yeah, we use the ninja for
How did we
Cubby.
forget as people? How did we forget how to feed and nourish our own? We were doing this as people in every society long before a formula came up. Formula was made because I believe, well, no, okay, first of all, formula was made to help those, the women that have a what
So
do you call
couldn't
it, like a
breastfeed.
problem naturally producing. Okay, so that
Correct.
was the reason it should there started to be an increase. They started seeing this be more of a problem. But I
Yeah.
also believe it is due because society, like our food, started getting more and more processed and shit over time. And so you started seeing this shit more and more. But the thing now is even that is still such a small percentage of women. And
Mm.
so I be telling them when they get mad and they try to bring up these small percentage arguments, and I'm like, hey, the women, the 5% of women that can't produce naturally, they're not the main consumers of formula. The consumers of formula is motherfuckers that could breastfeed just fucking fine. But they said, fuck
Yeah.
that. I'm not doing that shit. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. My titty, whatever the fucking reason for. Like, if you had kids, you've been there with your women, you know how they get over the shit.
Yeah. People were trying to convince Karina to do that, and that's one thing I put my foot down on. No, like if I know it might hurt, then let's pump. Like if you feel like Cubby is biting you too hard, then let's pump. But she has to get
Right.
it from you. I
And
don't
that's
care
what I
about nothing
wanted,
else.
but you know, my situation and everything and shit. And mom's was like, "Hey man, fuck this shit, I'm done." And shit. And
Yeah,
I had like what, like a couple of little bags of titty milk frozen and shit.
that's
And
what
then
we
once,
did.
yeah, once that shit was out, then you know it was kind of tough sailing and shit for a minute and shit, trying to get her to switch the formula. Then I had to really look to see like, okay, well, what the fuck am I giving my kid in this formula? So that's why I'm so like, you know, I can speak on it
Yeah,
because like dealing with that during that time during the pandemic where shit was shut down and sold out everywhere, and then having a baby and shit, like I'm like, yo, I mean, my daughter's fine, but they got
Mhm.
people convinced like you have to feed your kid formula, and it's like, yo, that ain't even realistic, and that's not even true. And I just don't understand where, especially with women and shit, they just gotten so complacent with this shit. And then really, it's like, how much formula do you fucking need? I don't know. I don't know about how other people, but I'm telling you, my daughter, once she started smelling fucking chicken and you know chicken wings and shit and all that shit coming out the kitchen, and she saw us smacking and she looking at, man, she was like, "Fuck that." So I'm like, yo, once they see that they can start eating,
Even yeah,
man,
that's when it
bottles
needs to go.
become so minimal. Like
Yeah,
I give her one in the morning and shit, so she be chilling, and then she'll probably go to bed with one. And they be little bottles too. They don't even be the tall bottles. My daughter used to be on the little ones. Like I was about to load her up on all that damn milk. And then even then, another thing that I noticed when I go to a lot of these stores and shit is it's not the more quality brands of formula that's out of sale or you know that's out of stock. It's the more affordable brands. All that
hmm
Enfamil and shit and that Similac shit, it's fucking terrible. But guess what it say right on the can?
what is that?
Number one doctor recommended and all that shit. Yo, it's a fucking hustle.
It is.
The best brands and shit cost too motherfucking much, and you be ready. You get that shit for your kids, and shit, you gonna be sitting there like, damn, man, this motherfucker seem hungrier than normal. Seem like he running
Yeah.
through this fucking expensive shit fast as hell. The good shit that don't tear your kids up, like I think one was made by Gerber. Comes in a big ass can, has a open top, like you know, you press the button, you can close this
Mhm.
motherfucker. Like this shit, nice. That's what I ultimately had my daughter on and shit before she got off the milk. But that shit didn't have a lot of them problems you have with the Similac and the Enfamil. They have organic brands too as well.
Almond milk
Yeah,
brands.
but that shit costs a little bit more.
So
So that,
true.
right, but that's the thing. It's just like you can't tell motherfuckers shit anymore. Like they really think the end all be all is fucking Similac and Enfamil. You can't tell motherfuckers nothing. You can't tell these black women, especially because that's who I mostly end up having to deal with on this shit. You can't tell them nothing,
That's silver and gold cans.
man. And then they think like, oh well, because I know Enfamil, they got all these like special colorful ass cans, right? Where they say, oh
Mhm.
man, we got DHS and PVO and all this different shit. It just looked like they really hooked this shit up. Like your baby about to come out like the next LeBron James. They drink this shit for the first fucking year of their life. But dog, it's fucking powdered cow milk and whey protein. Like that's the base. All that other special shit. I mean, I guess you could take their word for it,
Mhm.
you know, whatever, if it's one of those special lit up ass cans and shit. But really, the basis of what humans need to flourish and, you know, to be nourished and everything, like, come on, we know this shit, people. It's like, let's keep our wits about ourselves and shit. Every time the news flash something, like, we have to be smarter than that.
Yeah, we do.
And it's not even to mention that the reason that they say for the formula shortage is because you motherfuckers voted for Biden and this motherfucker is holding it up at the goddamn border for illegal immigrants. That's another motherfucking video.
Yeah, that's a whole nother video. Goddamn Democrats.
Shit. That shit is fucking wild.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, man, I've been trying to get that shit off all week. They just be mad. And that's like, that's crazy. Like something so important like that. Like, okay, if I could calm down for a second and then be like, okay, if you are worried, like, damn, how am I gonna feed my kid?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a guy that did it. See, these females now, they think that the shit is so exclusive to them. They think all this shit when it comes to babies, having the babies, like for some reason they feel so like this shit is just exclusive to them. When it comes to, oh my God, how am I gonna feed the kids? We don't have milk. They think that shit is exclusive to them. They don't think about those single dads in the situations and shit that have to figure out how to feed the kids and shit who may have had kids like me during the pandemic. They don't think about single dads that, oh, mom got sick, had to stay in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So who does the kid go home with because mom has to get her iron levels back up or, whatever's going on? You just never know. Like pregnancy is a crazy process for women.
Yeah.
The dads have to use the formula because mom can't be at home to breastfeed with the baby.
That's
So it's
true.
like they think shit is so exclusive to them and shit. And like you, not only is you talking to a motherfucker who's done it, but my kids are fine.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Shit. I wasn't that too much on it because it's always been breastfeed, 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 breastfeed. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
have,
definitely. If you can breastfeed, then that's the way you go.
yeah, that's what we're on. Like we, I've always talked about that, and she agreed. So we were on it. Like we're gonna breastfeed her. We're gonna try to make her a vegetarian, aka vegan or pescatarian, and
Yeah.
that's it.
And what's crazy is with that even, I don't even think like you have to really necessarily try to do that too much. I think a lot of stuff, I think with babies, I think babies even know more naturally. They have like a natural sense
Mm-hmm.
of kind of like what they want, what feels good, what's nourishing. They have a natural sense of it.
So true.
So what I've what I've seen with even with my kids is a lot of stuff like different meats they just
Mm-hmm.
didn't take to.
Correct.
It was just like like they would just kind of spit meat out. And
Yeah, that's
it always made me think like I wonder if meat is something that you learn to like over time because your parents are standing over you like, oh, you better eat that shit.
so true. So true. Just like regular milk. So true.
Right. Because me and my daughter, since she's as far back as I can remember, probably even before 3 months, we've always shared salads together.
Mm-hmm.
I would whip up my salad. I'd make like a light chicken salad with cheese and the croutons and all that shit. And we would post up in the room and man, we'd be sitting there eating salad. I should have chopped up eggs in it.
Mm-hmm.
She loves that shit. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad I could get that out there for people. Hopefully they pick up on that because there's really no reason for any of our kids and shit to be out here starving or for moms to be feeling that fucking loss. Shit, I know you got to get to the baby and I got to get to mine.
Hold on. Hold on.
She gang banging. Yeah, shit. I do the same thing.
Oh, my bad. She was talking about trying to get a game.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool. Shit, I got to get to mine too. I
Good.
was glad we could be able to. You probably come back. I don't know, midweek, so we more consistent. Maybe get some more. Get a few more people in here or something. I'll
Hey,
post something so
Tracy
people.
J.
So I'll post something so people know. That we up in here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, shout out to Tracy. So y'all gonna have to watch this on the playback. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool show.
Yeah, just talking and chopping it up and shit about the whole milk shortage and just different things. But shit, yeah, we got to try to come back like midweek this time for real.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Midweek would be perfect. Because everything should be back to normal this week or by next week. So
Oh yeah. So I know you wanna take us out or
Yep, let's go. That's Jay Almighty. That's Geraldine. 2 names. I'm Super Dope Keys. And you just been Chin Check.
Lunes. Money World. El mundo quiere dinero. Money World. Se arregla con dinero. Money World. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te lo ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money World. El mundo quiere dinero. Money World. Se arregla con dinero. Money World. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón, porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money World. Yeah. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah. Money World. Se arregla con dinero. Money World. De corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Yeah, de corazón. Yeah. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Money World. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah. Money World. Se arregla con dinero. Money World. Lunático.